another topic, the biggest challenge in forming the teams? You said you're not an Agile organization from day one. What have you seen now being Agile internally, which we also know from other projects is not an easy one, especially knowing history, size of the corporate, etc. And then actually having a partner, a tech partner, which is of course trained and educated in Agile, but it's like having two different cultures, two different teams coming together and creating one joint thing. What was the biggest challenge for you or for the project you could actually discover?
Yes. I can share now a bit why the story. So to be completely open with the people online is that first time when we tried this, actually we failed, and it happened some 5 years ago, maybe 4, between the two partners as well. We wanted to do more or less same that we are doing today, and I remember at that time we used external company to help us in this partnership and building this agile structure. And after some period of time we failed, and me personally I was quite stressed because of the failure at the time, and I was only completely sure that 80% of the problem at that time was at the vendor side because of the being failure. But then this partner that was quite neutral, and it actually was proposed by the bank that we quite know and quite believe in, and trustful partner. Actually, he told me vice versa. 80% of the problem came from the bank, and he opened up things that we at the bank we need to figure out in order to be an agile. So we took a note. So then, if you ask me, okay, but why then so many years passed in the meanwhile without you closing the gap? Well, we were merging. So OTP today is a merger of 3 banks that happened in the last 4 years. So unfortunately, going agile was not the focus at that time. But okay, we are quite satisfied with the bank that we developed now, and that we are now being able to lift up there. So the first thing is that we failed. It was a good advice for us to have somebody external actually to help you understand where the failure is, because we always project ourselves and we always see the failure on the other side. So it's not easy always to self-reflect. Then the culture is important thing, but okay, we realize this, so we also in parallel are working on this topic as a bank, because similar to us, like this failure with our initial setup, I remember when we recruited or wanted to recruit some data engineers some 4, 5, 6 years ago in the bank, and I was shocked because 60% of them didn't want to come for the interview, because basically they didn't feel the bank is the place to come. And I remember there was one guy coming to the interview, he sat down in the chair, sitting for 2 minutes. He was quite uncomfortable looking around, saying, sorry guys, it's not for me. He left the bank. So we were quite shocked, but we understood that we need also to change internal culture and to work a lot in the bank to be able to be interested for the generations to come, that they would like to work in the bank, but also for the partnerships to come to be able to work in those modes. So working a lot on hybrid, on the working conditions, or the requirements, where you are, how you cooperate, on the tools that are helping you to work from the distance was really, really important. And we've been working this in parallel, and I think this is one important reason why we succeeded this time and not the first time, because we are not the same company as we were 4 or 5 years ago, thanks to all the things that we learned in the meanwhile.
Perfect. Yes, I mean that's what we can confirm, knowing you from before mergers and before doing that big migration process, and actually now in the setup. There was another question coming about the team setup. Like, can the teams work from home? How is that mode of operation structured? Do they need to come to the branch, or not to the branch, but to the office? Are they with us on the tech player side? So maybe you can share something here.
Yeah. So yes, absolutely, they can work. Okay, they can work from wherever they want. I mean, both Innova and our employees. And to be honest, I don't really make differentiation now. And even when I enter, when I see them in the room, I'm not sure who is who, because we have a lot of new people, and some people from Innova I know for a long period of time, so I'm unsure about this. But yes, working from home, obviously it's important, specifically from the tech people. Then, of course, there are some in the month where the people are deciding to meet physically on some discussions. They think it's important, so they organize this in advance. Then the teams are coming here, having live meetings, live sessions, etc. But work from home, I would say it's even more normal than working from the office for that team. Yes.
In which stage the Agile teams are now?
We decided to set up one tribe that we call a digital tribe, that will have several squads inside, and each of the squad being in charge for the set of the services. The first squad we started is the squad on the M and E banking for the individual clients. We started it some 9 months ago, started to have monthly deliveries, and actually with very, very good results in the previous 9 months. In the meanwhile, we started one more squad that is focused on SME development. So this is the second one that will take care about similar scope, but for the SME clients. So it's a separate platform, separate offer for our clients. And we'll continue. So the first squad will probably go into 2, meaning that we'll have the team that will be focused on daily banking services, and the one that will be focused on the online sales. But okay, these are some next steps that will follow in the months to come. So we are between, let's say, up to 15 people, let's say per squad. Both colleagues from Innova, both the colleagues from the bank.
Vuk, thank you very much for your time. I think it was very insightful and very interesting to chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, guys.